Yeah, RapRadar podcast. Elliot Wilson.
My name is B-Dot.
B-Dot, what's up, baby?
I'm like in the age of pleasure right now, man.
Literally.
Yes.
Miss Janelle Monáe is here.
Yes,
Welcome
we
back,
are here.
Janelle.
Welcome to the age of pleasure.
Oh,
That's a hell of a title now.
Pleasure.
That's a hell of a title.
You like?
When did it land? When did you know like that's the title? What was the magic moment was like?
This title woke me up at 4:32 a.m. in the morning.
Woo, that's a big time.
4:32 a.m. in the morning. I was going back and forth. I had like in my notes like at least 8 titles. I thought it was this. I was gonna name it Black Sugar Beach, which is one of the songs. And I was like, damn, that's not it. You gotta capture the moment that you're in. Like this is a soundtrack to a lifestyle. And what kind of life, what kind of life am I living right now? Are we living? And it woke me up out of my sleep and it was like, the age of pleasure. And I just kept saying it for like,
It's powerful.
around people.
It's powerful.
So, yeah.
I know you had a spreadsheet of over 50 song concepts, right? Do you remember some of the concepts that you had?
How do you know that? I do. I did. Yeah, we have probably about a good 100.
Wow.
This album was so fun, and I love the approach that I took this time around. We were in the middle of the pandemic, right? And you guys know Everyday People because in New York, like we went to all the parties, right?
Yeah.
MoMA and
It started
Sinclair.
in New York, right?
In New York,
It did
yeah.
start, okay.
I went back like, a decade ago to go into the parties. But anyway, most beautiful brown, Black people from Ghana to Nigeria to South Africa to Jamaica, the Caribbeans, New York, LA, Atlanta, all together partying in a safe space. And they couldn't find a venue. And so we had come out here to LA. And I was just like, y'all should just come to our studio like space. We'll do something. We can't have a lot of people here because we're not supposed to be partying, right? We're still in the pandemic. People still spraying Lysol on cardboard boxes.
Wow.
So we tested people and kept everybody outdoors. But at these parties, we would have moments where I would look out and I would say, this right here is special. This is to be protected. This is to be preserved. I want to make music for my people. These are my people. And once I knew who I was making the music for, everything shifted. So if we knew we were having a party on like that Saturday, that Monday, Tuesday, we would go into the studio. And I made this album with my friends, literally with my friends, for my friends. We went in the studio and I was like, we need 2 to 3 songs that's gonna work in rotation. Don't tell nobody it's me. Don't announce shit. Don't say nothing because
Test your own album out.
Let's see how it's working. And that Saturday we would play the songs and I'd be hiding like, and then I'll see people Shazamming. Like, what's this? And then some friends like knew my voice. They'd be like, is that? And I would be nowhere to be found because I did not want to engage, but they literally were moving. I was like, if people sat down, it's not going on the album. And so of those moments that happened, there were experiences that happened at the parties. Like, this is a safe space for us. This is like, we're coming there all feeling like safe, consent.
At a time when the world is so unsafe in many
feeling
ways, right?
so unsafe. This was like our little safe space. And what I would do is I would just write, about everything that I was witnessing. No, I cannot even talk. Everything that I was witnessing. So then I would write, let me say it calmly again. So then I would write about everything that was happening. I mean, what Nina Simone says, an artist's job is to reflect the times. And a motherfucking time was had. Like, seriously, it was had. And so I just wrote like Lipstick Lover.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, the first time you played Lipstick Lover
that
to
was
the crowd,
from a true
was
space.
it right out the gate? It went crazy?
Yeah, like people were just moving. And you can always tell when a song is working when people have drank a little bit. Because they gonna give you the truth. Like if they're like drunk or they're tipsy, like if it's not working, they gonna stop dancing. And I'm one of those people. I'm like, okay, all right, I'll get up whenever, the next song comes on. And so I just remember going to the mirror after somebody had kissed all over here, red lipstick everywhere, and just been like, that's a song. Like that right there, because I've had many of those moments, but I'd never written about them.
Yeah.
So that's it. I just allowed myself, I gave myself permission to pull from real experiences that were happening. And I catered, I got intentional about making sure that the people I cared about, like, it worked for us. It matched our lifestyles.
So everything felt inclusive to your core group, the whole process. And
like, I was like, if we listen to this and we want to turn up to it, or we're on vacation, or we're playing games, we're smoking, we want to listen to it, like, that's it. Like, I just want my friends to have music that fits our lifestyle. I want them to always feel seen, always feel heard. And I want us to, like, find joy in that forever.
That's dope that you had that communal experience in this playlisting age where, you know, it's kind of like every man for himself. But, you know, you brought everybody together just kind of like to test out the music, so.
Yeah. And I also was listening to a lot of playlists. Like, one of my favorite playlists that I would work out to was Feeling Myself from Spotify.
Right.
And that, like, I feel like music was, when I was listening to it, it was nothing but women, and mostly Black women.
Yeah.
Black, queer women, like, talking that shit, you know, like, making me feel like, oh, okay, like, we are supporting each other. Like, there's real goddess energy that is so unapologetic. People are expressing themselves in ways that, like, I feel comfortable with. Like, I love that, like, my friends who, you know, are women or girls could listen to that playlist and be like, yeah, like, she's speaking for me. And so when I would listen to those playlists, I wanted The Age of Pleasure to be its own sort of playlist and soundtrack. I knew that was important.
Because your last album, Dirty Computer, it dropped 5 years ago, right? And obviously killing it at the box office. So during this time, were you still creating music while you were?
So what did I do? Okay, Dirty Computer came out, and really the pandemic happened. Like, I went on tour, and I did the Oscars 2020, and that was my last show.
Wow.
Like,
until you touch the stage this fall.
Until I touched, that was like, that was the last big thing I done, and that was 2020. And so when we went into lockdown, everything got canceled for me. Like, I didn't feel like I had anything to write about because I was trying to figure out life. I was like, okay, well, no more touring. Just trying to survive, like most of us, you know, and I was lucky enough to be able to stay home. I wrote a book. I brought.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
She's also.
Yes, I came here with gifts for y'all.
Thank you.
For your support. And y'all can keep these bags.
Oh, nice.
But I wrote a book.
Wow, that's a big book.
Called The Memory Librarian and Other Stories from Dirty Computer. And you can keep this bag.
Oh, nice.
And you can look in there. There's some more goodies for you.
I'm going to Whole Foods. I'm going to bring this.
And then, there you go. I signed it for y'all too.
Oh, thank you.
How come these other rap guests don't stop bring us like this, man?
They not bringing out books.
They bring us diss tracks.
And I also brought y'all a shirt.
Hey.
Oh,
Yes, Age of Pleasure. Now, if it don't, you know.
No, it's going to
I
work.
thought it was a crop top like yours.
Well, you can cut yours. You can cut yours like mine, or you can wear how you want to.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like, I had to dig deep into things that I wanted to do, and I collaborated with.
Yeah.
Those are short stories, science fiction stories.
Okay.
I collaborated with. Here you go. I collaborated with 5 other incredible writers on this, and it just dives into the world building that I've been so fortunate to do from. With Dirty Computer. I knew on the album I couldn't talk about everything, but there were more stories to tell. And these stories centered, you know, Black, queer, trans, non-binary, Black women, our experiences and what a future looks like for us. And this actually helped me write The Age of Pleasure, because as I got out these stories that centered this sort of dystopian world, this totalitarian world that was seeking to take our identities, I started to realize that it was going to be important for me to define who I was outside of fighting. Outside, who am I outside of my oppression and outside of my oppressor? How can I create and realize a world with what that, I just want to go there and think about that. And I had a really difficult time. Like, what do I want? Who am I outside of fighting? Fighting to convince people that me and my people matter.
Gotcha.
That there's nothing wrong with me. That I deserve life. I deserve breath. I deserve to, who am I when I'm not trying to convince white supremacy that I matter.
Right.
Wow.
That we matter. And I got to thinking about that, and that's what the Age of Pleasure was born, because I said, this time around, I'm not centering them.
Right.
I'm not, what can I do when the mission is love, joy, instead of responding to oppression? How do I respond to love? How do we create a world, a community, an oasis for us that's centered around love and the things that bring us pleasure and the things that bring us joy? And safety was important. How do we create a safe space? Because there is no pleasure as we know it without feeling safe. If we don't feel safe, we're not gonna, be able to even enjoy any of it. So anyway, yeah.
No, I mean, that's the thing too. When we first came in the game, wearing the suits and the whole thing, you fought against this is my image. I'm going to do something atypical, and stood on that for damn near over a decade.
Yeah.
So you keep evolving as an artist.
Yeah.
That's amazing to see.
Yeah.
Word.
It's important.
And as far as the music goes, man, when I'm listening to the album, it sounds like you're pulling from a lot of influence from dancehall, reggae. You got samples from Barrington Levy, Sister Nancy, Patra, Mad Cobra. Like, was that your intention to do it sonically like that?
Yeah, I love us so much, no matter where we come from. Like I said, with the people that I wrote it for, these are my friends, and it's they're from Ghana, from Nigeria, from Jamaica, from around the world. And so really this is a love letter to us, to the diaspora, to Pan-Africanism. I love when our music can talk to each other, knowing that Bob Marley was inspired by Motown, and like seeing him starting from the Suits, his sort of doo-wop group and growing into who he grew into. All of us are just saying how much we love each other through music. And it was such an honor to be able to work with somebody like Sister Nancy, who you can't go nowhere without hearing Bomb Bomb, right?
It's a classic.
Like, she is like a queen. And Grace Jones.
Come on, man.
Like, that is a Jamaican goddess.
Right.
Patra, like, all of these people are outliers. All of these women, all of these Black women did something in their community that a lot of other people were afraid to do. And I love free ass motherfuckers. Like, I love being able to say that we collaborated, on this project together.
I heard you spent 3 days with Grace Jones.
I did.
What was that experience like?
I spent 72 hours with Grace Jones. I can't even believe I'm saying that.
That's crazy.
That's a hell of a flex.
Man, when I tell y'all, she is so incredible and so warm and so down to earth and so like she knows she's Grace Jones, so she doesn't have to act like Grace Jones, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that kind of freaks you out because you're like, wait, you're cool. Like, you're so cool. And most superstars like that, honestly, that I've had the fortune to be around Prince and Stevie and, Grace Jones. And these folks are super, to me at least, they have always been very kind and no like ego there. And I think it's just sort of like, it's just a testament to like, you don't need to do that. Like it's like, that's so distasteful to act like a caricature of yourself. But anyway, it was amazing. Like, I went to her concert. I ended up on stage. I don't know if y'all saw the video.
No.
With her slapping my butt, me crawling between her legs. Then it was so just chaotic and fun. And then we hung out that night. I went to her hotel. She had a little event, and we had met years ago. Because I opened up for this band called Of Montreal, and they were opening up for her. But we didn't connect.
Yeah.
And so one time, though, after that, out of the blue, she called me. This had to be like over a decade ago. And she called me, and I was like, oh my God, Grace Jones just called me. And we were just talking regular, and she's telling me how much she loved me, and I was telling her how much I loved her, and I was so just freaking out on the phone. But we didn't really connect after that. And so this time, though, like, she said, I said, so what are you doing the next day? This was after I went to her show. And she was like, oh, nothing, darling. What are you doing? Let's hang. And I was like,
say less.
Okay, well, come over to Wonderland, the same place where we created the music. I said, come to Wonderland. I love to we can have lunch. We can swim, whatever you want to do. And she was like, okay. And I was just like, she's not going to come. Like, she's Grace fucking Jones. She probably told everybody she's going to hang out with them and ditch them. And I kid you not, her assistant reached out and was like, Grace wants to come over. She swims every day. She wants to swim. And here are the wines that she drinks.
There you go. Get it right.
And she came and we had lunch. We drank wine. She got in the pool, topless. I'm in the pool. We just free. Yeah. Just living, existing. Nobody's worried. And she left and then came back again. And then we stayed up till 6 a.m. Wow. And I have a birthmark. I'll just tell this last story. I have a birthmark on my back. And she's so motherly too. Like she, not like in a how are you? You know, let me hug you. Let me see you. Mm-hmm. And so she spun me around and she noticed my birthmark. And she said, oh, you have the same birthmark I have. And she showed me her birthmark. And so we have the same little mark on our backs. And I was like, oh, we're connected. I knew it. So anyway, to say the least. And then we recorded. We went to the studio. She came in the studio, recording Grace Jones. I have to tell this another day because y'all just have no idea. Like, it's like a tiger in the studio. Like, because she will take you over here. We're like, okay, so do it like this. And it's like, no, I'm over here. And like, no, I'm over here. And but she gave us, I have a good hour of her record. She recorded on multiple songs.
Oh, wow.
Multiple songs. So, you know, maybe we'll do something later with it. But it's just an honor to be able to tell her how much she means to me and how much she has affirmed me. You know, as I have evolved and I've decided to honor all of me, for her to affirm me and tell me to go forward, you know, I really have to say, I really have to thank her over and over and over again.
And Beat, I mentioned you made so many concepts and songs. It's interesting how you cut it down to 14, 30-something minute length. Like, why was that so intentional?
You know, I usually, my Arcandroid, I did a double album. I think even with Electric Lady, that was a double album. Dirty Computer was not. I think I liked the replayable value of it for myself.
Run it back.
Run it back. Because that's what I was finding myself. When I was listening to it, I was like, oh, after a Dry Red and then Float came back on. I was like, oh, I can listen to this over and over again. And then if we want to listen to other people's music, we can go after that and listen to others. We can, you're not overstaying your welcome.
Right.
And for me, that's what it's about. It's about coming in, saying thank you, I love you, and good night.
And the masterful sequencing, too.
You like to see, okay, how did it work for y'all? I know y'all are music lovers, y'all have heard a lot.
Seamless.
Is it?
And you know who doesn't get enough credit? Janelle Monáe, the producer.
Oh.
That side of you. You know what I mean? Talk about that, how you put, because it seemed like there's so much care in the transitions and production across the board. Yeah, a lot of this album, I engineered myself, a lot, with Float, I worked. And I got to give a shout out too, because when you make these, when we as artists sort of have a vision, we have to have our trust, our brain trust of people that you're like, okay, here's what I'm thinking, listen to this. And I have to give a shout out to Nate Rocket Wonder, who's been with me since every album. There's nothing musically we can't do together and he can't do. Nana Kwabena, who was the DJ at the parties playing some of the music and worked on production with me, and as well as Sensei Bueno. Us three really were the nucleus. And when I was putting together the sequence, when we all were listening to it, we were like, no, this needs to go here, this needs to go here. And ultimately, me trusting them and them trusting me led us to that. We just knew it felt good. And because Nana is one of the only DJs, with us, and I picked up DJing a little bit. So I know a little bit about DJing, but he was able to say, in terms of sequence and tempo,
This is, if we talking about like putting something on for the party, like this is where you're gonna lag if you put a song on there that's like under this BPM.
Yeah.
So once I kind of knew that, then I could make decisions. Like just knowing like, okay, so the songs that I like are not over this BPM, but they're under, okay. So that helped me. That helped become a guide for me.
I saw something else where you said you wanted to capture kind of a 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. vibe to it.
Yes, I did. Ooh, you know what? I just want to say, I appreciate real journalism. I appreciate y'all listening, doing your research, knowing that absolutely this album was so intentional. Because when you think about those parties, they're day parties and they go into night.
Especially nowadays.
True,
right? So like if you went to an Everyday People party, you know, it's starting around 3 p.m., 4 p.m. And so I wanted the songs for you to be able to have like that batch of songs that you can put on from that 4 to 6 p.m. slot. Then when the sun is going down between that like 6 to 9, what are we playing? And then some of the songs even from 4 to 6 p.m. work from like that 9 to midnight slot. Okay, so when everybody around midnight are trying to figure out, okay, who you going home with tonight? What are those songs? You know, you listening to Know Better, you listening to Paid in Pleasure, then it's going into Only Have Eyes for two, which can be played at 4 p.m. or 4 in the morning, because you're trying to think about which people you're going to go home with at night if you're at my party. And then
inclusion.
Inclusion. And then when you get to like the dry red, like that's watching the sun come up.
Dry red is one of them ones.
You watching the sun come up with that person, and you're just like, wow. We just had a night, we had a day, we had an experience. So that was important. And we played those songs during those slots and then they worked. Yeah.
See, I like we mentioned the sequence and Champagne Shit kind of melts into Black Sugar Beach and like gives it its own moment.
I want to hear it right now.
But can we, what is Champagne Shit? What does that mean? It feels like a big pimping kind of moment.
Ooh, it does have that. Like, it can go either way. I think for me, champagne is more of a state of mind. Like it's not literally being like, go get some champagne. Because a lot of us can't afford champagne. Shit, I couldn't afford champagne until I started really working. And some of us may not like it. But when you think about champagne though, what does it represent to you?
Success.
Class.
Success.
Yes. Yeah. Class,
but also
classy,
celebration.
Right.
Oh, celebration. Very
and
true.
most times, are we drinking champagne alone or with
a group.
With a group? Community,
even in sports, everything they pop champagne when they win.
It's when you win, when you with your day ones, when you with your people, and that's what that represents. Like we on our champagne shit unapologetically. Like one of my favorite lines is, "Don't ask me shit about work because I'm on my champagne shit." Right. Don't ask me shit about work because I'm on my champagne shit. Like I was like, I know everybody gonna feel that line.
Yeah. I felt these niggas about to make a whole lot of money.
Let me tell you. That these niggas about to make a whole lot of money. When I wrote that line, I chuckled because one time I went to Magic City in Atlanta because I've lived in Atlanta. I still have my place there since like really the beginning of my career, and I would always go to Magic City.
Yeah.
And I just remember looking at the girls and being like, damn, they about to make a whole lot of money tonight. And I've always wanted to say it. And I was like, this is the appropriate time. So I'm so happy, y'all. I'm so happy that y'all like the stuff I like.
Are we going to get a video for that, though?
Look at you.
That has to have a video.
You think it should? Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
And I want a cameo.
You want to get, what you want to be in there doing? I love it. He said, let me tell you, I'm putting it out there. Well, I'm trying to figure out, we got some stuff. You know, I had a wonderful time. I co-directed Lipstick Lover and Water Slide.
Water Slides recently came out. That's a great video also.
Came out. Thank you.
What is it like to put these visuals out there to shut the world down? Like immediately. like you obviously knew it was good, but like I feel like instantly the visuals just shut the world down.
Man, listen, it's like I was talking to a friend and I was just like, it's so difficult to impress about this project because it's so much of our lives. Like this is not even the talking points are from a lived experience. It's not it's not something that I have to roll out, that I have to plan or I have to do. Like literally, it's really our lives and it's how we've lived. And I've been thankful that it's resonated in the way that it's resonated, but a lot of the people that you see in the visuals are my real friends.
You know, these are people that
these are people that I hang out with. These are people that, you know, are people that have given me such rich experiences. They've made me feel safe. Like I can be all of me around them and I don't got to worry about, you know, anybody making me feel, you know, shameful or unsafe in these spaces. And it's just a love letter back to them. And so for that to resonate, that's something that comes so pure from me and my friends. Like, that's like so beautiful because I love them. And I like that we're being celebrated, you know, we're being celebrated.
Absolutely.
We are. We're being very celebrated.
Where did you shoot Lipstick Lover at?
We shot Lipstick Lover actually at Wonderland.
I was wondering, okay.
Yeah,
It's
right
like
at Wonderland.
So was that at Wonderland,
right where the experience is.
Was that at Wonderland?
You know, right at
Magical
Wonderland.
place. That's a magic city right there.
It really is. It's special. It's special. And, you know, we do everything we can to preserve that and make, if people come into that space, you know, you to honor that. Like, not everybody can get into Wonderland. Like,
hard to get a ticket.
No, I have a lot of friends who are even in the industry. They're very successful and they can't even come because it's a vibe. You got to understand the vibe. You got to understand the energy. It's not about how much money you have. You know, it's not about class. It's not about, or classism, excuse me. It's not about all that. It's like, you got to understand the energy. And we try to make sure that the aura is checked. I have an aura checker before you come in and you would get scanned. And if your stuff is coming up,
Aura checker.
like a blob, like a hey, you gotta, you know, listen, we love you, but you gotta go deal with that and be ready to come into the party. Even myself, you know, I wasn't always somebody that could take in the beauty of something like a Wonderland because of my own healing that I needed to do. You know how you can walk into a party and you just really are not in a good space. You need to go home. Yeah.
What's so dope about the video, it's like erotic, it's sexy, but it's not gratuitous. You know, it's not like sleaze or anything like that. I love the fact that you showed your mom and she gave you the feedback for it. And she said she hoped that the big booty would have waited for a second.
My mom is hilarious. Like, I was like, let me show her this before it comes out. Okay. And so literally, like, everything I put up, my mother I love that we've come so far. Like, I grew up in a pretty, my mom wasn't really conservative, but her mom was. You know, my grandmother was born and raised in Aberdeen, Mississippi, and she was from that Black, you know, the Black generation where, you know, church was all they had. It was a means of survival. And so whatever their church taught them, you taught your kids, and your kids taught their kids. And a lot of things were passed down, certain things that, you know, right now, God rest my grandmother's soul, like, you know, I grew up in a church that was very homophobic, like most churches. Like we were taught, you homosexual, you going to hell. You know, a church where you need to wear, you know, I have a long skirt on today, but that was the norm. Like, you could not show skin. They would talk down about women who would show their cleavage. You know, I was always taught, even when I got in the music industry, like, oh, don't be like those video girls. You know, make sure you dress this way or you look this way, and, you know, they're Jezebels. Don't be a Jezebel.
Oh, wow. Jezebel.
You know, it's not just my experience. So many of our people are conditioned to align and assimilate with misogyny, to assimilate with conservative views that have, for generations, stopped the freedom and the autonomy of women specifically, Black women specifically. And so, anyway, I'm saying all this to say I'm so happy that my mother has come around to being very supportive of me and who I am, you know, as her daughter. Amazing. And for her to see me living out my truth, you know, unapologetically, and me knowing that I have a mother who is, when she's in a room with whoever, she's gonna have my back. Right. It's no small thing. It's no small thing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Another woman that had your back was Nia Long. She's on the album as well.
Oh, my crush. My forever crush. Yeah, that's when I knew. When I saw Nia Long, I was like,
I think we all did.
Everybody, right? And she's such a good person too. Like, I'm so happy to have, a friendship with her. And she killed it in the studio. She was like really one take. And I got to engineer her. One day I'll release, footage. I got to engineer her and so many other people on the project. And her voice, I wanted that Love Jones, feel your ocean come to my moon, let our rain become a monsoon. Because I demoed it up, but I was like, the only other person that could really kill this would be like a Nia Long. And she said, hell yeah. So I texted her, she was like, yeah, girl, what?
Has she been on records before? Like,
no, she's never.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I don't think she has.
Yeah, she's she's a special person. Very special.
She's kind of like an executive producer because she gave you like approval for the photos to use and things like that, right?
Yes, she did. Yeah. She was like, don't use, she was worried about like when she came over to record, she was like, don't use those photos. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. No, I'm like, how you know about that conversation? Okay. Because I put her in the trailer. Yeah. And so she had come over and we were all dressed down and she didn't know what she looked like. And I sent it to her and she said, yes, okay, approved. You can use that photo. But I showed her my press photos of me coming out the water, which was paying homage to, the old Jamaica advertisement photo. Yeah. And shout out. And I showed her the press photos and she was like, oh yeah, that's the one. Don't blur out no nipples. Don't blur out. You got some pretty titties. You got some pretty titties. Like, no, that's the one right there. That's art. It's beautiful. Yeah. It's just natural. Like, it's effortless. Go with that. And so, yeah. So I went with that.
That's dope. I love the fact that you do all the engineering too. You're like a one-man band, man. I love it.
A one-man or a they.
Gotta get on pronouns right, baby.
Get it right.
It's okay. I don't know. I have to come up, but I feel you.
Word.
Oh, I do have to give a shout out to my engineer, Jada, who when I don't feel like doing it, she kills it. Yeah, she kills. I try to work with a lot of women engineers. Jada, it's like, oh, and I have to give a shout out to, my engineer, Young as well. So when I don't feel like doing it, and they've been incredible in putting the stuff together, Young and Jada. So shout out to women engineers all around the world.
But you're also working with dope female rappers. You got Doechii on the album.
Yes,
phenomenal.
That's my sister.
Why was she like the right voice for that song?
She's so talented. She's just getting started. And I just saw so much, like she's her own individual, obviously, like she's killing it. Yeah. But her free spirit and like the way that she's come into the industry and like brought something new, I see a lot of myself in her. And so much so when we, talked and met, like she said that and was so just like, it was so beautiful just to hear her talk about when she first had gotten introduced to my work. And I was like, what? Like, man, I that always makes me feel good, but I always try to tell artists like, no, you go do you. Like, I support you. I love what you're doing. Yeah. Like, I don't want anything from you, but to see you shine. And if you need any advice, I'm here, but feel no obligation. And so me and her just started to become really tight, and I had her over to the studio and I played her, a few songs, and I didn't tell her which song I wanted her to be on. And as soon as she heard Phenomenal, she jumped up.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, that's the one. That's it. That's what I want. I want you to be on this song. And yeah. She's such a beautiful and such a humble spirit, like eager to learn. Like she's gonna have a really successful career.
It's interesting. B Dot has a Lil' Kim shirt on. I saw one interview we talking about the divide back then between like a Lil' Kim or a Lauryn Hill, right? That we couldn't like this type of female, the imagery of the situation. And now, one of the great things about female hip hop right now, we see so many different looks and so many different artists. Like, what do you make of that? Who else kind of is catching your eye?
Yeah, I love that we can do both. Yeah, I remember that. Like a lot of people would try to put them against each other and make you choose. And I love Lil' Kim. Yeah. And I love, Lauryn Hill. And I see myself in so much, of both of them. I am who I am now. But growing up, like, I could recite a lot of stuff from Lil' Kim and Lauryn back and forth. Right. But anyway, I think that it's a beautiful thing. And I want to always support, women, even if their freedom, and I hope that the women who are in hip hop and say like hip hop is their thing, even if her freedom doesn't look like your freedom, support it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Support it.
Yeah.
Like, women, you are not the enemy of each other. Mm-hmm. You're fighting a system that was never created for any of you.
Yeah.
This music industry wasn't created for you. This patriarchy that we're living in was not created for you. And when I think about sort of the divisiveness that is going on, right? My thoughts is just like, outside of rap, let's take all that out of it as women, as non-binary folks, as minorities in this majority. These systems were not built for us.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm kind of bummed on this album, Age of Pleasure, because it's like there's no rap standout moment like Django Jane, man.
You know we Django Jane fanboys. You know we
right.
are.
Oh, that's right. Well, listen, you have Django Jane. You can listen. but don't sleep on Float.
Oh, no, Float.
Float.
I'm light as a feather. I'm light as a feather. Yeah, baby, I float. Yeah. What? It's hard to look at my resume and not find a reason to toast. I mean,
that's a okay. Right.
I used to let niggas get to me. I used to be my own enemy. Now I done had several epiphanies over some breakfast at Tiffany's. Had to forgive all my frenemies. They are not who they pretend to be. I had to protect all my energy. I'm feeling much lighter. Now I float. Float on my float. Come on now.
No, you
hanging on an echo down.
You got it off. I ain't gonna front, but I was like, I just wanted that.
You wanted that.
Because you said you kind of held back with the bars, though. You didn't want to put too much in it, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, I used a different muscle. I think with this project and just art in general, my job is to figure out like, how fresh can I make things? Like, how can I tap into different sides of me? I get really, I get really bored with like doing the same thing. Like if people love something even about me, they're like, do that little thing. And I'm just like, nah, you're not about to trap me. It's so important that I keep going and I keep evolving and that I keep discovering new things about what I can do, who I can be, what I can say, and how I can say it.
And how proud does that make you? Because you're viewed as an album artist, right? That you have these 4 bodies of work that are all uniquely different.
Yeah.
But sort of sound like that's why you got the resume brag line off. Like.
Listen, I've worked hard and I'm continuously working, I mean, just thinking about, and I say this humbly, like just thinking about how far I've come from just making albums to then going into making films and writing books.
Absolutely.
I mean, within this 2021, I released The Memory Librarian, went to go shoot Glass Onion.
Amazing work with Glass Onion, yeah.
And wrote The Age of Pleasure.
Wow.
And to be able to say that, I never would have thought that I would be able to do that. And I'm just so happy that I allowed myself to go outside of my own expectations of who I could be, what I could say, how I could say it. And given the time to do it, sometimes you catch a wave and sometimes you don't. Like there are certainly moments, let me be clear, there have been certainly moments where I didn't know what the hell I was gonna talk about. I don't have anything to say. And people are looking at me like, so when's the next? And I'm just like, I don't got it, but I'm really proud. I'm proud of the work that we've done as a team. And I'm very proud of that.
Speaking of waves, man, you wrote a tsunami because the last time we talked to you, you didn't have a Diamond song with We Are Young.
Oh, tonight.
Big record, big tune.
Oh,
I know, it is.
Diamond,
I missed that one.
Yeah.
Diamond.
Yes.
Congrats.
Listen, shout out to Fun. I will always say thank you to those guys. They called me to do the bridge and sing the chorus with them. And, that song is, I can go to the middle of Ibiza and they are playing We Are Young, and you can go to some of the hoodest clubs in the world and they playing We Are Young. So that's a beautiful thing to be a part of, just music that can walk in any room,
Right. And speaking of Ibiza, you about to go on your own tour soon, next month.
Yeah.
What can we expect from that, man?
Well, listen, I mean, right now, you catching me like I'm still in my head trying to figure out, okay, what songs what songs from the previous albums I'm gonna play. I might need y'all help with that. What songs from the previous albums I'm gonna play? What new songs? We're still weaving them in together, you know. Yeah. It's very interesting. All the work is talking to each other though. Like with ArchAndroid, with Electric Lady, Dirty Computer, when you come from this sort of dystopian world and fighting against the androids and folks fighting against this totalitarian society, the age of pleasure is the next phase. And so I've always sort of planned out this moment in my career. I didn't know how it was gonna sound though. I didn't know how it was gonna look. But the age of pleasure is all of the people that I fought for on these projects realizing their dream and living out their reality, having a safe space, having a space free from that sort of oppression and being amongst each other and the world watching it. And so that's the beauty of just like this moment that we're in. People always ask, well, what happens? What do they want? What do they fight? Like if you read the book, like what do they actually want? And this is the life. This is the life that we are living out, that I'm living out for us. Yeah.
So the live show is going to be a little bit different this time around.
It's going to be a little different. But you know, I love live performing. Like I love being able to see the people that come, you know, because this is like their church, the church that kicked them out for being who they are. We created a church for us, right? So when you come there, like it's a religious experience because people are just happy to be amongst people that affirm them and where they feel like they're safe and they could be free and all those things. And like, we're gonna play the songs, we're gonna give a hell of a show. Like one thing I'm not gonna do is half-ass no show. I love performing. I love it. I love it so much. And I just can't wait to like create something that will only be for Seattle, that will only be for New York. Like we'll be in New York at Radio City Music Hall, and then we're doing Brooklyn, King's Theater.
Theater, yeah.
Big venues.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited. I'm ready.
I'm excited too. Are there particular songs that the fans definitely crave? Because like for me, I love Cold War. I gotta see that.
Oh,
live.
really?
You kidding me?
You want to see Cold War?
Yeah.
I don't know if that matches in the age. You know what? Okay. All right.
That's it. It's like a fan frame. The video is just so stripped down and just so emotional and it's just a great record.
Yeah, I got to give a shout out. We just lost her, Sinead O'Connor.
Sinead O'Connor, right.
And, you know, when she did Nothing Compares to You and her video with just her face. And when you look at Cold War.
It is.
Oh, wow.
I definitely, you know, we were inspired by her and she was such a voice, great talent forever. So, yeah, just thinking about that. So basically I'm saying all this to say I'm trying to weave in the story into now, you know, this.
Gotcha.
So we'll see, but just know it's going to be very intentional, thought out, an experience, unforgettable. Mentioning
Sinead, I know you were really affected by the passing of Tina Turner. How did that affect you?
Tina's the blueprint, you know, especially when you think about live performing. You know, this is somebody that just really set the standard, set the bar for a lot of us. You know, she's also born in December, Sagittarius, like myself. And I don't know, I just always felt a connection to her. But her energy will never be forgotten, you know? Never forgotten.
So she evolved to becoming a free-ass motherfucker.
Yeah. Eventually we all, you know, if we're around long enough, we got the right people around us, and we'll get braver and braver and braver, you know, as time goes. So eventually we'll all get there.
Right. I mean, shit, on Float, you kicked off the album saying I'm not the same, so.
Ooh, no, I'm not the same, nigga. I actually was gonna cut off that part because the part like, no, I'm not the same, no, I'm not the same, no, I'm not where I'm like finding it. But my, you know, producers who were in the room, they were like, do not erase that part. Like they need to see you literally going through your transformation. And I'm happy we kept it because, It's, you know, my music is always a reflection of where I am. If I'm on, we on tuxedos and androids right now, we gonna be on that. If we in the age of motherfucking pleasure, we in the age of pleasure, and we're on that. And yeah, like just thinking about purpose, you know. I mean, let me turn this around on y'all. I feel like I'm talking a lot.
Before we get out of here?
Before we get out of here, let me turn this. What are y'all doing for yourself when it comes to pleasure? What things are bringing you great pleasure right now?
That's hard for us.
Give me at least 3.
For me, I like doing this. This gives me pleasure.
Okay.
I don't really take vacations. I don't think I've ever taken a vacation in my adult life. So just...
Really? Like never like gone to Mexico or...
It's just that like I have FOMO. You know, I feel like if I do something, something's going to happen. I'm going to miss it. So I always like to be on standby and I like to work. You know, Big Sean said, I fuck a vacation, I feel better at work. Like,
okay.
That's how I feel.
All right, I'll receive that.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it, but I'll receive it. I believe in balance in all things.
I'm trying to, Janelle.
But I get it. Yeah. You'll get there. You'll get there.
He's still single.
But also, I also have my daughter.
Okay.
My daughter.
You have a daughter.
There you go.
How old is your baby?
She's 10.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all could take a cute little vacation together.
Yeah, I think we're going to do that next year.
You know, travel with her. That could be fun.
I'm going to do that. That gives me pleasure. Me around her. Right. She's great.
Well, that's good. Yeah. I affirm that for you.
Thank you.
I affirm that.
I affirm it too. Be that.
What gives you pleasure, Elliot?
Yes, Elliot. What is giving?
No, I'm sorry.
Listen, I get that too.
I mean, you know my lovely wife, Danielle.
I love Danielle.
Danielle's amazing. I have a beautiful dog too, little Karen Terrier.
Okay.
That's like our child's 2 years old.
All right.
Will be 2 years old. I think just trying to go back to traveling more. I don't feel like we traveled a lot before the pandemic.
Yeah.
And since the pandemic, I haven't really found that groove again. Only time I've kind of traveled now is to do work, like travel for work. So just trying to find that balance of like, you know, enjoy, especially now because we're not structured to have to work at offices the same way.
Yeah.
That's forever changed things. You can work from anywhere.
Yeah.
So you might as well take the time to experience and go to places. You just told me you came off a great vacation. So going different places and different countries. Like I'm not as well traveled as I think I should be. A 52-year-old man who's achieved so much. I still haven't been to many places that I probably still want to go to before.
Yeah.
It all goes down.
Well, it's not too late. It's not too late.
Yeah.
It's not too late. It's interesting thinking about travel. Like growing up, I never took vacations. My parents, they couldn't afford it.
Absolutely.
We were working. As soon as I got of age to work, I was working. And so I think now I'm making up for that. I'm just like, okay, let me pull a little money aside and just go and travel and it not be because I have to tour there, which has been amazing to be able to go on tours overseas and stuff. But just like, no, I'm taking this time and, you know, I have this one sort of earth experience as I know it. And as an artist, my job is to record what I'm seeing.
Experience.
Like I need to be inspired. Like people don't realize, like artists need to just do nothing.
I got to live life to make art.
I need to live in order to have something to say. And that's been like one of the biggest things for me is this phrase that I live by and I want to share with y'all is hurry up and live.
Hurry up and live.
Hurry up and live. Get that tattooed.
All right.
Hurry up and live.
Well, more pleasure in all of y'all lives. Listen, because we in the age of pleasure and I want that for us so much as we work. I know you already told me how you felt about vacations, but as much as we work, may we find the balance. And I'll do this toast with y'all.
Hey, yes. There we go.
All right. To the lives we lead.
Okay.
Say it back
to the lives we lead.
Okay, I'm going to do this toast. To the lives we lead.
To the lives we lead.
To the dreams we chase.
To the dreams we chase.
To the moments that we make.
To the moments that we make.
And to the fucked up shit we can't erase.
And to the fucked up shit we can't erase.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. We drinking water.
Yeah, it's okay.
But water is good. Water is life.
Stay hydrated.
Yeah, thank you, Janelle.
Man, thank y'all so much for having me. Always appreciate y'all's support. Like, I really, really appreciate it. And thanks for being journalists.
Yes.
We need it. We need y'all.
Appreciate it.
RapRadar Podcast.
Yeah.